and welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, here with your readings for October the 7th through October the 13th. Welcome. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you'll return. And if you are returning, thank you. I really appreciate your support and loyalty and love. Thank you so much. Okay, so now these readings come in 3 sections. The intro, which is this, then there's the astrology report, and then the tarot reading. And I will have skip times posted for each section in the show more section below. If you're looking on a phone, it's a little arrow pointing down. You click on that and you can get all the information. This is for your sun, moon and rising, guys. So check out the other videos. The links to those will be below. I am starting a tarot course, and I'm starting it on Sunday. Some of you will get this before Sunday. Sunday the 6th of October at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be a 6-week course. It's interactive, it's online. You can, join it from anywhere in the world as long as you check your time. And if you miss the first one, that's no big deal, because you will get the recording, and you'll be sent the recording after each class, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I am going to take you on the magical journey of tarot. Okay, so now what's the next one? I have a Facebook group, guys, and every 2 weeks I do a live feed within that Facebook group, and it correlates with the full moon or the new moon. And so we look at the chart with your sign and we see how which area of your life will be affected by it. And I have tarot cards on hand and I answer questions just for the people who join in at the time. So that's fun. It's a private group. You do have to request entrance into it, but I approve everyone. So ask for that. The link to that will be below. And what else? That's it. I think that's it. Oh, yes. If you would like a personal reading, please click on this, a personal, more tailored reading, because, guys, these are general readings. So sometimes they're specific because spirit needs to get through to somebody that needs to hear it, right? So take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you'd like a more tailored reading, click on this link and it will take you to my website. You can see all the kinds of readings that I offer. Okay, without further ado, let's go to the astrology report, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology report section of your reading. So what an incredibly powerful celestial sky we have this week, guys. So we start on October the 8th at 1:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Venus moves into Scorpio. Now, Venus is very, she's the planet of relationships, love, finance, beauty, and she's moving into Scorpio, which is very deep and intense. So Venus in Scorpio is very intense and deep, darling. So no shallow connections are tolerated at this time. It's like you see people that aren't authentic and you have no time for them. It's about real deep. It's like we value that deep and real truthful relationships. Or in all areas, friends, co-workers, there's no fear of intimacy during this time. It's like, it's like you crave intimacy. And our libidos will, rise up, darling. So it'll be a very hot and steamy time while Venus is in Scorpio. And also it's loyalty is demanded kind of thing. So it's very deep and very intense. Now the shadow side of Venus in Scorpio is possessiveness and jealousy and perhaps manipulation and control in our relationships. So we have to resist the urge to do that. Although it might be strong, it depends on the relationship. Now, let's move on to October the 13th, guys. It is huge. It's massive. This is an incredible look. 13. Well, I'm not going to go into that yet. We have the full moon in Aries at 20 degrees. Now, the full moon is when the sun is opposite the moon, right? So the moon's in Aries and the sun is in Libra, because they're opposite signs. And it's actually the illumination from the sun, the light from the sun, that illuminates the moon, right? So it's directly opposite. It's lighting it all up. So it's a full moon. This is a really powerful moon, and I'll tell you why. So we have the moon at 20 degrees of Aries. We have the sun at 20 degrees of Libra. And at the top is Pluto at 20 degrees of Capricorn. Now, this is what we call in astrology a Tsquare. And a Tsquare is a challenging aspect, but it's motivating. It can be very motivating. So this could bring on growth, personal growth and self-awareness. Now, that brings me back to the number 13, right? Because this is a time of transformation. Pluto is all about transformation. It's all about death and rebirth. The number 13 is a very powerful number. It represents change and transformation. It's the death card in the tarot, and that's all of the death card is about death and rebirth, right? So we need to let our old habits and behaviors die so that new positive habits and behaviors can pave the way for our path forward. 13 is also the divine feminine number, right? And that comes from 13 moons in a year. So that represents a woman's cycle, right? And the 13th day of the cycle is when she ovulates. This was the day of the goddess, right? Worshipping the goddess. It was when patriarchal rule came in that 13 was considered unlucky. Yes, unlucky for you guys because you weren't in control, okay? Don't make me go there, guys. Anyway, so this is it's like the opening to the psychic within. The full moon in Aries. Full moons are when things come to a head, right? When things come to light, when the moon shines a light on things that have been hidden to us previously that we haven't seen. So it's almost like we'll get epiphanies. We'll see things. We'll start to become aware of things that we weren't aware of before. So it's an opportunity to change something about ourselves that has held us back and stopped us from moving forward. And when we change that, we can propel forward. This Tsquare, right, is what we call, it's a cardinal Tsquare because Aries is a cardinal sign, Libra is a cardinal sign, and Capricorn's a cardinal sign. So it is about action. Cardinal signs are, getting things started, getting up and doing things, right? So this is going to create a transformation from us. Now, the interesting thing is, right, so Cancer, you think that you're going to get away with it? No, Cancer, you are involved too because you are opposite Capricorn. And so you would make a grand cardinal cross, as they say. So this is a Tsquare, but your energy comes to make it, meet it, and complete it. Then there may be challenges in your relationships at this time. The moon in Aries is all about finding your power. Where does your power lay? Where do I need to take initiative? Where can I say no? Sometimes saying no is kinder. It's a kinder thing to do. It's like stand up and say, no, I can't do that. Instead of saying, let me try, let me see if I can. No, I can't. It's physically impossible for me to do that. I'm sorry. Where can you set boundaries? Where can you say no? Now, at the same time, we've got Mars. Mars has moved into Libra, right? And Mars wants to be the nice guy. It's kind of goes again. Mars is the soldier, right? And Libra is the diplomat. So Mars wants to be the good guy in Libra, and it goes against his grain. He can't express himself fully. So he's not direct. It's not kind of direct. But let me tell you something incredible that's also happening at this full moon, is that Jupiter is also at 20 degrees. Now, Jupiter is at 20 degrees of Sagittarius, sending a beautiful beam of light to the moon, and likewise to the sun. It is trine to the moon and sextiling the sun. This is a lovely, beneficial energy. So we can expect to get paid, guys, abundance, money coming in, listen, this is kind of like good fortune, good luck. I don't normally condone this, but, try the lotto, darling. And what's interesting, right? So the moon's 20 degrees, Pluto's 20 degrees, Jupiter's 20 degrees, and the sun is 20 degrees, 20, 20, 20, 20. And we are moving, the Pluto station direct and Saturn station direct, and they're picking up speed, even though Pluto is a very slow planet, right? They are picking up speed, especially Saturn and Jupiter, because Jupiter went direct the other week. So things are starting to shake and move, and there's a lot of change. There is no doubt about it. There is change. Now, look, also at the same time as this full moon, we have Venus opposite Uranus. Now, Uranus is the planet of surprises, sudden happenings. It can be good and bad, but Venus is about relationships. We could expect unexpected or surprise encounters with people. So maybe somebody from the past or somebody new, perhaps new clients that will bring in that abundance or opportunities. Let's see. It's a very exciting and intense time, guys. Hang in there. But, there's some really, look, change sometimes doesn't feel great, but it's going to be an amazing change. It's where we become empowered. And it's also a very kind of karmic time. So we really need to look at how we behave, how we treat others. It's very important to put kindness and compassion forward. And we are seeing things. Look, Pluto digs deep and brings stuff up, right? And particularly at this full moon, we will see things that we haven't seen before. We are seeing it with our leaders around the world. Change is upon us. So exciting times. Okay, without further ado, let's go to the tarot card, shall we? Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your reading for October the 7th through October the 13th. And this is my second time around. I'm trying to be positive, darling. I had audio issues. My software crashed and I didn't realize, and I wasn't listening to my intuition that kept saying, check your audio, check your audio. And I was like, next time. And then I had recorded 8 with... Don't even get me started. Anyway, so this is the second time around. I have re-recording this. Hopefully I'll get them all done. This is for Cancer. For Cancer, what wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Cancer for October the 7th through October the 13th? Okay, 3 cards for Cancer, please. 3 cards for Cancer. Okay, that's one. Oh, it's so interesting because each week there is a card that shows up in a lot of readings, right? And it's a different card each week. And this card has shown up. It showed up in all the readings that I did that didn't have audio, and it's showing up in the ones so far that I'm re-recording. So it's very interesting. 2 more cards for Cancer, please. Oh, 1 more card for Cancer. 1 more card for Cancer. It's so interesting how that happens, right? Okay, and now we're going to the clarifying cards for Cancer. Okay. Let's clarify. This is for Cancer. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Cancer through these clarifying cards for this coming week? October the 7th through the 13th. Please clarify. Oh, please clarify. And please clarify. Okay. Very, very interesting. Let's take a look at your cards, Cancer. Here you go. Okay, so the first card out for you is the Hermit. This is the one that keeps showing up everywhere. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles. And then you have the 4 of Wands, clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. And then you have the 4 of Cups, clarified by the Hierophant. Cancer. Okay. The Hermit. The Hermit comes into a reading when you need to take a respite from society, when you need to kind of retreat, you need to go within, you need to meditate. Perhaps you're not having enough time alone in solitude. And I don't mean isolation, I mean solitude. There's a difference between isolation and solitude. Isolation is kind of being at home and locking yourself away from everybody else, but like watching the television or playing video games or doing things that are distracting and not. But solitude is when you spend time with yourself, when you go inside, when you search for answers, when you get to know yourself, when you connect with your higher self. He goes into a cave and he learns everything he can. He voraciously reads. He gets all the knowledge he can. He gains all the knowledge. He spends hours and hours and hours in meditation and connects with the ethereal realm. And he comes out of that cave and he's spiritually enlightened and wise, filled with knowledge, and is ready to impart that knowledge with anyone who comes into contact with him. So he holds up the lantern and he has, he's holding the stuff. He's got authority. He's got power. He holds the lantern up. He's like the light at the end of the tunnel, right? And he shows everyone else the way. So he's been the student and then he becomes the teacher. Now we must remain teachable. I always get that, but you must go inside and connect with the wisdom within. Now, you have the Queen of Pentacles clarifying the Hermit. So I feel that when you have a clear mind and you come out, the Queen of Pentacles loves opulence and luxury, and she's surrounded by luxurious objects, objets d'art, and possessions. And but she's like an incredible businesswoman. She really works hard. She's an incredible negotiator. So I feel that there's an opportunity to gain wealth when you quieten your mind and then you can see things clearly in a way that you couldn't see before. And you can't do that unless you clear your mind. So that you're not ruled by your mind. I think this kind of, when you connect and you go inside, you eradicate fear. You're not in fear anymore. You're wise. Nothing phases you. There's no point in worrying. You have to just search for the answer or the solution. When you're searching for the solution, you're not in the problem, are you? And the next card out is the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is like a celebration. It's like you've accomplished a small goal somehow, or perhaps you've finished a project at work, or there's something that you've done something that you feel proud of, Cancer. You've completed something and you really like what you've done, and it's a wonderful foundation on which you can build. So this is a lovely card. It could even be updating your resume. It can be as small as that you're proud of, and you've got that, and it's your foundation on which to get a better job, or whatever this is for you. This is a celebratory card. And it's fertile. You see, there's rabbits there. That means that, you can build upon it. You can make something more out of it. And clarifying it is the Knight of Pentacles. And all knights are about moving forward, right? But this knight is not about rushing in. He's very strategic about where he moves. He's methodical. He does move forward, but very slowly. And each step is thought out. He surveys the land. And he's very careful about where he goes and how he moves. He doesn't waste any energy. This is not a time to kind of rush in and be rash and waste energy. It's a time to be strategic, to plan your next move, and make it well thought out. And you have the Four of Cups here. So the Four of Cups is when you're perhaps thinking about, something that hasn't quite worked out in the way you wanted it to work out. So it's like there's a little frustration there, there's a little regret. It's like, but you're mired in the problem, right? And so you're not really seeing the gift. There's a gift being handed to you, but you're not seeing it because you're just so in your mind in disappointment about how things have turned out. And it's almost like you can be beating yourself up for it, so you're not seeing the lesson in it. So you're not seeing the gift, because the gift could be the lesson. Because successful people don't kind of say, "Oh my God, that was a failure. What am I going to do?" And they focus on the failure. They don't. They get up. They say, "Okay, that didn't work. So maybe I should try this instead." So they tweak whatever it is and they do something different. They get up, dust themselves off, and they start all over again and do something different, right? They keep going. You have to keep the momentum going. Don't sit there and feel sorry or sit in regret or, disappointment. Don't do that, because you'll miss opportunities and you're missing the gift. If you're beating yourself up or disappointed in how something, you're not going to see the lesson, right? So you're not going to learn from it. You're not going to be able to move forward. And clarifying this, the Four of Cups, is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the number 5. That means change. The Hierophant is about going back to your faith. It's about trusting that everything is happening for a reason. It's believing that no matter what, you're going to be okay. That's it. Look, I love that saying, everything turns out okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. But this is going back to your faith and really trusting God. Listen, know that there's a process. Things are happening for a reason. You've got to pick something up. You've got to learn something from the steps that are going on. It's like me, right? Guess what I learned? I'm going to be checking that my software is up, like during the reading, after the reading. That's the lesson I've learned. So I'm not spending another 4 hours recording these readings. after I've already spent that time. So, Cancer, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it on social media, friends, neighbors, co-workers, family, and comment. I am here to interact with you guys, and I really appreciate comments, and I love them. And I always respond. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.